They say the sun rises when she appears on television and sets when she disappears. And the truth of the matter is, her fans say that's why it's called Sun TV. And if that sounds to you as if it's an exaggeration, well, it's only a small one, because when you take the channel's name, chances are the response will be hers in return. And if you haven't guessed who I'm talking about, the answer is Uma Maheswari. Welcome to the program, Uma.
Thank you, Karanji. It's a great pleasure being here.
Well, it's wonderful to have you too.
It's a great honor for me.
You know, they say that you're probably the most famous anchor in South India. But the funny thing is, I'm told your career started actually by accident.
Yes, of course, yes. It was all an irony, I should say. The most unexpected happened in my life. I never ever thought I should come into the media. And it all actually happened like this. One of my friends, she wanted me to join for a game show of a friend who was the director of the show. So I just landed at the studio, I just participated in the game show and won many prizes also. And incidentally, the director of the show wanted me to anchor for a show in Doordarshan. So it all just started just like that.
And what did you say to him when he asked you?
I was neither reluctant nor I was in a way to grab it. It was in between, like. I was just thinking, like, why not try this? I was not that sure, neither was reluctant.
But you know, the show went on to be quite a success. It was called, I'm going to probably mispronounce it, Varungal Vasutsam.
That was very sweet. It's Varungal Varthuvo.
Oops, I won't try it again. But it was an unusual sort of program. It was a sort of guest request show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a very usual program, but unusually it turned out to be a very successful show.
Did you enjoy it?
Of course, yes, by all means.
But the show that really took Tamil Nadu by storm was the one you did after that. I'm talking about the Pepsi Ungal show.
Yes, yes.
But in fact, there was a bit of a problem right at the beginning, wasn't there?
Yeah, I should narrate the entire scenario of this happening. Actually, I was almost on the verge of completing my show, Varangal Varthuvom. And there were a couple of people who called me and they told, we have just now launched a channel called Sun TV. It's 3 months old. So we would want you to compare for a show called Ungal Choice. It's going to be sponsored by Pepsi. So I just went for the meeting there with all the officials, and everything was comfortable for me except my code of dress. They were insisting on me to wear my modern outfits like the VJs of the V channels
you
and
mean
MTV.
skimpy clothes that show everything, huh?
I don't know. I cannot comment about it. But so they were just quite insistent of me wearing modern outfits and, you know, like typically anchoring like the MTV and V channel VJs.
And you put your foot down?
Of course, yes. I put my foot down. I told them, like, this is my way of comparing. Try to be as natural as possible. I cannot have all these, I cannot do all these gimmicks, you know, melodramatic expressions. I cannot do all those things.
So what did they say?
No, they were just insisting on me about my dress code only, but not about my comparing. They were just insisting about me to wear some modern outfits like what you told me. So, so I told, this is me. If you want me to compare the show, I will. Otherwise, you can just find another person. Finally, I just made them understand as to who, I mean, like what I really want to do in the show. So they just went on with the show, and it started in '94. And
it continues 7 years later,
yes.
every single week. In
Yes.
fact, it's probably the most successful show that they've seen in Tamil Nadu. Do you think the success lies in the fact that you're natural, that you're, as sometimes your critics say, traditional and homely? Is that the real secret?
As far as my success is concerned, I'll have to attribute all my success to the viewers of the show, because they've been bearing with me for the last 7 years. They've been seeing me for the last 7 years.
But do you really mean bearing with you? Surely you're being excessively modest when you say that.
They've been seeing me for the last 7 years. So I'll have to thank my viewers for that. Really, I wholeheartedly have to thank my viewers for that.
But what about the fact that maybe it is the traditional, the homely, the natural that appeals?
That's the way I am, Karanji. That's the way I am. I just did not put up my things artificially. I just want to be natural on screen, and definitely I think that might be one of the reasons for my success.
In fact, the show has touched chords with people right the way across. I gather in Kerala there's a village where they've actually built a temple to you.
Yes. Yes, building a temple for me, yes. I have heard this incident, but I haven't seen the place.
You haven't
there.
been to see the temple, is it?
No, I haven't been to the place. So I had a couple of vans one day lining up my house. 300 to 400 people, so called my fans. They just came from this place, a remote village next to Thekadi. So they just came and told me that, madam, we've just built a temple for you and we worship you.
Actually pray to you. You are their goddess.
Yes, I was astounded. I never knew what was happening because I have not achieved anything in life. I've not done, I'm yet to start up, you know, like I'm yet to start up my life. I'll have to do something resourceful. I was just wondering as to what was happening, and I was astounded. I was bemused rather. But then I was feeling extremely happy in the widest sense of the word, because for the love and affection of the people, you know, it's purely their love.
But you know, you're not just a goddess for villagers in Kerala. I gather some film stars have also been bewitched by your spell. Isn't that true? Rajnikant and Shivaji Ganeshan.
Yes, these two instances was really interesting for me. Like, it was one of the best days in my life. I was doing a show in Kumarapalayam down south. You know, a show where Mr. Shivaji Ganeshan was honored. So after the show was over, like the organizers requested us to assemble for dinner. So all these stars, and I was also there, gazing at the, you know, like when Mr. Shivaji is going to land up. We were all, you know, like gazing at him, like gazing at the entrance as to when he's going to come, ready waiting for him. So he arrived then. All of us were just looking at him, you know, like the entire place was silent because he is a legend. I mean, you must be knowing about him. He's a legend, he's the actor. And he's one of the wonders of the world, I suppose. I think so. There's no other actor like him in the world. So all these stars were there waiting for him to say something. And all of a sudden, he just looked at me and he just told me, Kuti, would you mind joining me for the dinner?
What did you do?
I was shocked. I was perturbed. I never knew what was happening. So
Did you get to eat that dinner, or did you just sit there?
Yes. So he just called me. I just went next to his table. He was just sitting with his wife there, and he just looked at me. He told, "Would you mind dining with me?" I told, "Sir, it's my great pleasure to dine with you and your family. It's a great pleasure." Then I still remember he had ordered a fried rice, vegetable fried rice, and some kadai paneer. So
And something very similar happened with Rajnikant as well. He was trying very hard to get you on the phone.
Yes, of course, yes. I was doing a live show from Singapore, Karanji. Like, I was doing for my show for Pepsi Ungle Choice, live show. And, I mean, during the show, I never knew this. Director Mr. Sundarsi was narrating this incident to me, that Mr. Rajnikant was desperately trying for my number. He couldn't get through the lines. He was desperately trying for the number to speak to me and surprise me. But unfortunately, he couldn't get through the lines.
And the sad part is that you're a great fan of Rajnikant, aren't you? So that was really a call you wanted.
Yes.
But you know, talking about being goddess, the truth of the matter is there have been one or two miraculous occasions when you've had almost healing powers with children who've been sick. There was a young spastic boy who you made a big impact on. Tell us about that.
I actually feel the praises, you know, the credits which I receive from the normal people is all common to any person. But the amount of love and affection, the praises you receive from these children, I think it's something great. It makes me feel great for this, you know. There was one kid who was unfortunately a spastic child, and he was in the Spastic Society of India. And his mother called me up one fine day and told me that my son is a big fan of yours, and he's never been speaking, there's no actions in him. And on seeing your show for all these years, the first word he uttered was Uma, my name. That spastic kid. And he's been seeing my shows, and he's been doing actions like, you know, clapping his hands, smiling, laughing, moving here and there. So his mother was literally crying. She was holding my hands and literally crying, you know. She was feeling so happy, so she just requested me to go to the center and visit him. So that evening, I just rushed to the center to see that person, that guy, that small guy. On seeing me, he was so joyous, he was so happy. He started clapping his hands, he started applauding. He was so happy, he started smiling. He just went to a board nearby, a chart, and he wrote my name, UMA.
That was perhaps the first time he'd ever
First
written.
time. And his parents were terrified in seeing this. They were literally in tears.
Amazing.
Amazing for me. I think that was the greatest thing that happened for me.
Now there is another show that you do as well. This time it's a very different show. It's a one-to-one interview.
Yes.
I imagine it's very different to Ungal, but is it as much fun?
More of a fun. Like what you've been doing, not in part to what you've been doing, but yes, I've been doing my own show called Star Show, wherein we just call the stars from various fields, not only from the film drum, from various fields, we just call them onto the sets. So I just interview them. So it's full fun. It's a
But there
great
is
show.
one particular person who you're a great fan of and who you've been trying very hard to get, but he's resisted your charms.
Yeah, I think he was talking about Cho Ramaswamy. I'm a big fan of him. Like, I just adore him because he's full of brains.
So why won't he come on the show? Is he
He's
shy
really
or is
keen.
he scared of you?
I should be scared of him. No, he came for my show. He just came for my show once.
But you can't get him back again.
Due to some political reasons, he's not able to appear in the channel.
Now the interesting thing is you've been flooded with film offers. You've had several of them.
Yes.
But you've turned them all down.
Yes, of course, yes.
Why?
I don't know, Karanji. I haven't got any interest in joining films.
None whatsoever?
None.
You don't
None.
want to be an actress or a heroine?
No, I don't want to be. Actually, I did receive a lot of offers from big names, from big directors, big names. And I also did receive an offer from Mr. Subhash Ghai, whom I really don't know whom he was.
You had absolutely no idea who Subhash Ghai was?
I totally wasn't. This happened a couple of years back because, and my friends used to tell me like, what nonsense is this? You don't know who that person was. And then people told me that that guy was a big name in Hindi films.
And you still weren't impressed?
No.
So you have no
I was
regrets about
supposed
the
to.
films that you've turned down?
No regrets at all.
But tell me, did you turn them down because, in fact, films is not something you're interested in? Or is it because you thought that the roles they were offering weren't going to challenge
No,
you?
it's basically only interest. I absolutely don't have any interest in joining films. Absolutely lack of interest.
You know, I get the impression that you're a lady who has a very clear idea of what she wants to be and what she wants to do.
Yes.
Somewhere have you worked out in your mind exactly how you're going to lead your life? And are you following a pattern that's in here?
No. No, not at all. I'm a fatalist, Karanji. I don't plan anything because we all plan for the future and the next minute you don't know as to what's going to happen. So I
So
think
literally every day is a fresh day?
yes, of course, yes.
And every day is an uncertain day?
Yes, of course, yes. I'm a pure fatalist.
Let's take a break though. I want to come back in part 2 and talk about this pure fatalist and find out
Yes.
what she's really actually like.
Yes.
We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Stick with us. Welcome back to Face to Face. My guest is Uma Maheswari. Let's talk about the lady behind the image. Your father's an advocate, your mother a professor of art.
Yes.
That's an amazing combination,
Yes.
isn't it?
My father is an advocate and to flow in about him, just in a word, I'll have to tell him that he's a cornucopia of knowledge.
You hugely admire him.
Yes. And my mother, she is an artist and she's also a dancer. She was a disciple of Varuvur Ramaya Pillai, a great legend, yeah. So I also incidentally learned dancing and painting. I don't paint like hers, but to an extent I do painting.
Do you do a lot of paintings?
Yes, yes, I do a lot of painting.
What sort of childhood was it with parents who are so accomplished?
My childhood, I should say, was it wasn't that interesting, but I was sticking to my own limits. I was
Very disciplined?
I shouldn't tell I was so disciplined, but I was a bit reserved.
Your
I was-
parents say that she was very naughty,
No.
headstrong, and she quarreled with all her siblings. A
Yes,
very
of course,
different
yes.
image your parents
No,
gave.
no, of course, yes. No, actually, inside the house might be, but outside I was a total introvert.
So there were two yous.
Yes,
a
of
naughty
course, yes.
one indoors
Of course, yes.
and a polite and demure
course,
one
yes.
outside. That's
I wouldn't be provoked if unless and until I'm provoked.
Really?
Yeah, of course, yes.
So you say that your brothers and sisters provoked you. That's why you were naughty. Now, I'm told that you were also a very talented speaker. Is it true that at the age of 11, you won an elocution contest speaking on the daunting subject of the water resources of Madras?
Yes, of course, yes. A lot many competitions, a lot of oratorical competitions and elocutions.
But what did you say on the subject of the water resources of Madras?
No, I don't remember, Karanji, because it was way, way back at the age of 11, so I just don't remember because that was an on-the-spot oratorical contest and I won the first prize all over Tamil Nadu. It's a state-level competition. So I just bagged the first prize, but I doubt whether I'll remember this now because I don't remember. It was way, way back.
In fact, it wasn't just oratorical contests that you were good at and elocution debates and things.
Yes.
Apparently, you were pretty brilliant at school as well, top of the class every single year.
Yes, I was very egoistic when it comes to studies. I always stood first and I want to stand first, always.
Tell me
That
the
was
truth,
mine.
did you work hard or were you just naturally brilliant?
No. I did work hard. I should not really blow my trumpet that I was born intelligent and all these things. Definitely, I did work hard. And I stood state second in commerce in my 12th standard. This is 199 of 200. And I
And you
was
got a gold medal in
medal.
college?
Yes, yes.
You
of
must have
course.
been the teacher's pet right through.
Yes, of course. I think that's the reason as to why I never had many friends in college and school because I used to study well.
So they were jealous.
I didn't tell they're jealous. They're a bit, reluctant to get along with me. Whether I'll be fitting into their crowd, their lot.
That must have been pretty difficult because I get the
Very
impression that
difficult
you're
for
a
me.
naturally gregarious, fun-loving person.
Yes, yes. That was very difficult for me. Very difficult because I cannot explain to my friends what I need. Like they were very reluctant in getting along with me just because they ranked first in school and colleges. So this is the only reason why I never had many of my friends.
So were there moments of unhappiness as a child?
Of course, yes, definitely.
Particularly because of this.
Yeah, of course, yes.
You made up for it by having a lot of animals in your life. There was a time when you had 5 dogs, and now I gather you have almost as many.
Yeah, I have a great passion for animals, for pets.
Do you feel close to them? Are they in fact the friends that you perhaps never had?
Of course, yes. I have a great passion for animals, and one thing which takes me on to my nerves, one thing which upsets me, one thing which I really get hurted is when I see people abusing animals, pets. I don't know, I lose my temper, I lose my stance, I really don't bother who I am, where I am. I just go and literally fight with those people who abuse pets and animals. I hate zoo, I don't like circus, and I hate caging of birds.
You take it very seriously.
Of course, yes.
1999, you met your husband Sukesh and got married.
Yes.
How did the two of you meet?
That was a very interesting episode which I can never forget in my life. This person, Mr. Sukesh, whom I met, we were doing an assignment for a commercial for Mr. P.C. Sriram, this a cinematographer. So we were modeling for a commercial for some mixing. So casually during the break, we just got to meet each other more personally, and just got introduced. So he just introduced himself as having completed his graduation in BE, and he just asked me as to who I was.
He had no idea that he was in front of the great Uma Maheswari.
He never knew who I was. And I told him, he asked me what is my name. I got so offended. I was just staring at him. He asked me, what are you doing? I said, I'm an anchor person in TV and doing a lot of shows. But then I think at this point of time, he was not well versed with the language of Tamil. He was speaking Hindi and English, and he was not well versed with Tamil. So he just apologized. He told that he was not watching the Tamil channels, and he never knew who I was.
So what attracted you to him?
I really don't know. I'm still searching for a reason. I think
You're still not sure why you married him.
I think I'm destined. Seriously, I just cherish meeting him. He's such a person with a lot of love, filled with a lot of love. I know there is some charisma in him, I think so.
And yet you
apart
took
from it.
5 years to make up your mind. You kept him dangling for a long time, didn't you?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah. We decided to properly settle down in life and didn't get married happily properly.
Was that the answer, or were you actually paying him back and making him wait? I'm sure it wasn't
No.
revenge.
Come on. Absolutely not. As far as Sukesh is concerned, I'll have to tell that he is like a catalyst to me. He really stimulates a lot of energy into me. He incites me. Every time he used to tell me, if you try, you might. If you don't, you won't. So he's really a person filled with a lot of love, and he's my strength.
He's not just the only strength. You have a life that's spanned in a very short time,
Yes.
and you made some terrific achievements. Looking back on it, what does fame and fortune mean to you?
Fame and fortune, thank God I've not taken it into my head. I think this popularity today, if you feel I'm successful, if you feel I'm popular today, I think it's all because of the love and affection of the people. That's it.
But is it difficult to be so casual about it?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because when they're erecting temples and considering you goddess-like in Kerala, it must be very difficult to keep your feet on the ground.
No, Karanji, I don't think so. I don't think so, definitely. I've conditioned myself, definitely. Definitely not.
You're only 28.
Yes.
You're an anchor today. How long do you want to continue? And when you give up, what's next?
When you give it, I don't know the answer for that. But I just wanted to surely for something quite innovative, resourceful, something for women in general.
Something for women.
Women in general.
Have you thought out
Probably it might be of some show involving women in general, or the problems about them.
So this is a television program that is inside you, waiting to get out.
Of course, yes.
Have you begun discussing it in planning, or is it just a dream?
It is a dream, and I'm planning to effect it very shortly.
But looking at you, and looking at what you told me earlier about Pepsi Ungle Choice, will this be for traditional women, or would this be for the avant-garde and those at the forefront?
It's women in general, a conglomeration of both, women in general.
Do you want to appeal to the silent majority that never really gets its way?
Definitely.
There is another...
Because, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a strong feeling about the concept of this women's liberation.
But for someone who's so traditional, isn't that almost a contradiction?
No, that's what I just want to tell you that. This concept of women's liberation and freedom, I think it differs from a person to another. As for me, I feel for women like me who are into the media, women like those in the cities, in grown-up towns, I think we will never have to speak about liberation. I'm talking about the freedom, the liberation of those women in remote villages. I think they are still insulated with all the social problems, Karanji. The dowry system, female infanticide, all these nonsenses is still happening at this age of 21st century.
So these are the women you want to reach?
Definitely, definitely. These women in the villages have to be focused, and they will definitely have to be liberalized from the clutches of all these social problems. I think a social revolution has to be effected, definitely. And for that, I think every woman has to be educated.
That's a very noble ambition, and I'm sure that's one that you're going to succeed in.
Definitely. And we're speaking about the 33% reservation now. I think this is more essential. We'll have to think about women in villages.
Well, I think I see in front of me the birth of a very new and different anchor. When will this happen?
Very shortly, with God's grace.
How quickly is very shortly?
Very shortly, in a couple of months.
There is one last question that your fans are very keen to know. When will Uma have a baby, they keep saying? Is she putting it off for other reasons?
No way. No way.
No way a baby, or no way you're not putting it off?
No way about these gossips about the people. I mean, we've proposed and now God has to propose.
So it's up to God when it happens.
Yes.
Well, many people would say, let's hope it happens soon. Uma, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thanks a lot, Karanji. It's a great honor for me.
Thank you.